Well, today I am going to test this telescope with my homemade DIY autofocuser. If you've been following the show, you've seen that I've been working on this for the past few days and I've had so much fun. I've been wanting to do something like this for a long time. And this one is controlled by a Raspberry Pi. It uses open source software. I'm using EKOS. And I've got a stepper motor here and a bracket, and I've got it now completely working. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to test it on this little refractor. Now, this refractor was it's got price tags here. It was 25, then 10, then 5, and then free, because I found it in a box outside of a garage sale that didn't sell, and it had a big free sign. So I took it. And it's about, say, 50 millimeters. It's an f8, and it's a doublet. And I built a little eyepiece adapter so we can put a camera on, and then I built this. And so I thought this would be a fun little scope to see what I can see. So there's a cluster I'm going to look for tonight. I think it's M92. And we'll give this a test and see if it will autofocus, and then see what kind of results we can get out of this little thing. Alright, it's finally dark enough, and I've got the scope set up north. I'm just looking at Polaris, and I've adjusted the scope a little bit, or the focuser a little bit rather, to get my initial set point, and I'm going to press the autofocus routine. So what this is going to try to do is create a curve. So let's see what happens. Looks like it found 5 stars, and we've got 3 points on the curve. There's 4 points, and now we're at 6 stars. Let's see if we can get a little bit more going on here. Oh, these are getting a curve. I'm looking at Polaris, by the way. Alright, looking at the logs, they're going in by 2 steps, and they have drawn a line on that curve, which is a very good sign. And we've got another image processing. And then we went outwards by 100 steps, then 102 steps. Apparently it worked. Okay, so let's take an image and see what the size of the stars are now. That must be Polaris. 1.96, 1.42. Those are pretty small images. So I think it worked. Great. I want to create a quick 10-second image and take a look at the stars and see how good they are at this point after the autofocus routine. Okay. It looks like it's pretty well focused. Okay. Alright, now I am over here on M92, and this cheap little refractor that I found on the side of the road, literally, that's not too bad for free. Look at that cluster, and that's just one 20-second exposure. So I am doing 1 to 200 tonight, and see if we can stack them. But the autofocus worked, and I'm really happy about it, and I can't believe that this little refractor can see much at all in the city here, and I don't even see that much aberration. As you go out on the side, we're probably going to get a lot more aberrations out here. But with the one single frame, it's kind of hard to see, but when they're stacked, we'll probably be able to see a little bit better. But the cluster isn't bad at all. And so I want to go over and take a look at this. Here's the curve that it came up with, and it worked. And you can see that we came, I've got this on preview as the frames come in. So it went up here to about 2.27, and then it came down like it's supposed to. Let's see if I can get it to hover over 2.1, 1.93, 1.86, and this is where it looks like it focused in with the, and that's not bad at all. And if you look here, it says its focus completed after 12 iterations. And so we have a successful autofocus with my homemade focuser. Now I want to go over to the options and just record how I did this. I believe I did single steps as the resolution. Yes, step size of 1. Okay. And also there is a process called adaptive focus. That's where it tries to focus during the imaging. I do not have that. I had that checked and it failed. I do not have that set up right. I do not recommend that you try that if you're just getting started with the K-stars. But anyway, that's the focuser settings. And then I use the standard, the SEP in the is the standard profile, and everything here was just in the default. I didn't change anything, but it worked, and I am really happy because I've wanted an alternative to the ZWO autofocuser. I've had problems with it, connection and whatnot, and I paid a lot of money for it. And here I built one for about $100. But if you already have a Raspberry Pi, then it's even less. So anyway, I'm going to continue to take some more of these images here of this cluster and see if we can stack them and see what this looks like. But anyway, this is pretty good news. Well, here's my final stacked image. I had just about 200 exposures of 30 seconds each, and I'm really very surprised that I could see this much at all. And as you can see, the stars are pinpoint focused, and they're fairly round. Now the image is not perfect. I got a little bit of bloating here, and that is really due to tracking errors because this was unguided. I didn't have a guide scope set up, and I just put it on 30-second short intervals, and the polar tracking was okay, but not perfect. So without guiding, you're going to get some more of these oblong areas. But anyway, I'm really happy with the results, and this has been a lot of fun. So I think I'll put a guide scope on and play around with this refractor a little bit more and see what else I can do.